Geez, Ganz, there's something reminding me of tires here. I don't know what it is.
I couldn't tell you. It's probably something in the air. Feel it?
I think it's time to talk about our new sponsor, Discount Tires. Do you know about these cats?
These are the coolest cats in the industry. Guaranteed satisfaction.
Let me quiz you. How many years in business?
Over 50 years.
What about puncture protection?
Free puncture replacement and rotation of tires.
Well, that's it. Screw you. I'm bringing my rims over there.
By the way, thanks.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, enough talking. Let's actually look at the Streamliner with Amir. 38 feet long?
38.5 feet long.
And never correct me on air. And you use every inch of it.
Is that AIR or ERR?
Oh, wow. You
okay.
see?
You can't get anything by.
They're so smart.
No, I gotta tell you, I've been practicing that for weeks.
That's
weeks.
a good one.
Dan, get me on the shot when you use that line.
Forget about driving in a straight line. You should be a straight man. We should take it on the road.
I am a straight man. I keep telling my wife that.
That's a good nickname for you, the straight man.
The straight man on the side of the car.
And not only that, keeps the gaze away.
This is all parachute tubes right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a firewall, because you don't want fire to go into the parachutes because it'll melt them, and when you really need them, you got to have them
You'll end up
unmelted.
like Evel Knievel in the Snake River jump.
Burned up.
Deployed while the thing was still on the launching pad.
Yeah, that was no good. So
yeah, that was no good. So you got a firewall here.
Firewall here. Then we have tires and wheels, and they have encasements too, which we'll take this cover off and you'll see. So we've got all the tires encased in steel, because if you lose a tread and it tears up bodywork at 400 miles an hour, the bodywork becomes a sail, flips the car, and really bad things happen. So you want to contain your tire explosions there.
Solid rubber tires?
Oh no, they're some sort of, I don't know, fibrous whatever with like painted rubber on them. The rubber's really thin. There's
but there's no air in the tire.
We start off at 90 pounds. We end up after a run around 98 to 100 pounds.
Oh, so there is air.
Oh yeah, they're absolute air tires.
I always thought they were solid. And you have these essentially like scatter shield, like in a bell housing or something of a dragster.
Two halves that clamp together, so if there's an explosion, it contains it and it doesn't do some damage. And then over here, in this area here, and we'll see this, so you got all the fuel systems right above the transmission with the air shifters and all that stuff, and then there's the rear end's obviously this big, and it's between the...
How many gallons of fuel will you carry on a run?
We carry 13, we use 3. So it gets almost 2 miles to the gallon.
And why do you have so much extra?
Because in the future, if we want to use methanol, then the tank is big enough to hold methanol. Because you're going to use methanol twice the rate that you're using gasoline.
I see.
Or if we start mixing nitro, but we're more than likely going to go methanol than nitro.
By the way, we don't like just saying nitro. We go nitro. Yeah.
Cap it quick.
Cap it quick. Throw it on the ground. Drive match on version of the other. Put it inside a 422 cubic inch Hemi engine. Liquid dynamite. All right, sorry. That's a little digression.
Is today Sunday?
Sunday.
It's a repeat of last episode, I think.
This is the cockpit. Is that fiberglass?
No, this is aluminum.
Oh, it's aluminum.
That's aluminum, yeah.
Everything is skin and aluminum.
Yep, the whole thing is aluminum.
Aluminum and duct tape, it looks like.
Steel cage. It looks like that butterfly steering wheel was made...
With a hacksaw.
With a hacksaw.
Yeah, we took a regular steering wheel and we kept cutting and cutting and cutting until I could both get in and see the gauges. Because when this is down, the wheel fits like this.
Sure. We have a display that will tell you what?
Well, it'll tell me my speed up to 275 miles an hour, and then it shuts off because the system we're using is sort of pedestrian and it's only good for 275.
Sure.
We're using it anyway. It does give me RPM readings, and then on my slowdown, after I pull the chute and I'm coasting, I usually keep the engine on to pump oil through the turbos.
Sure.
And then I can check the temps and various things and to see if everything's going okay. Not that there's anything I could do about it, but you never know.
Six speeds?
5 speed.
5 speeds. Don't ever correct me on. But if you
6 speed.
You know that in 5th gear,
Yes.
with this engine turning at 7,500, 8,000 RPMs, you'll know that you're going 450 something miles an hour.
Correct them, but
You don't turn those kind of R's?
No.
No,
it's
6,500?
62.
At 62 in 5th gear, you know that when you're turning, when the RPM when it says 6,200, you know you're going at least for.
The calculation is 380 something, but we get about 3 inches of tire growth.
Ah.
So then you have to figure that into the gearing.
Sure.
Yeah. So when
Tires
you see pictures,
expanding.
like if you see the car now, it's about that high off the ground, but we've got some pictures of it at speed. When it goes by at speed, it's that high off.
3
the ground.
inches.
Oh, it just comes right up.
That seems like a dangerous gig other than driving this thing. Photographer. Hey, here comes a bullet, come by about 400 miles an hour. I stand here. What could go wrong? There's no hay bales or anything, right?
No, just cones.
There's a cone. I'm going to take a shot. You hit a cone?
Yeah.
Photographer or cone?
Cone.
Okay.
The photographer's
His name was Cone?
Cohen.
Oh, Cohen. Okay,
Cohen,
now I got it.
We hit a cone, an orange cone at about 375. I didn't hear it. I didn't feel it. I saw it. And I saw it hit, and I saw it go by me, but I didn't feel anything. But it caved the nose in.
Well, should we?
A plastic cone.
Let's take a look at it.
So if this was the course, the cone was right about where your yellow stripe is, and I came at it this way, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye go that way. You pretty much have to sort of feel out. I can correct this much, and if I go any more, bad things will happen.
Right.
And there's really no way to know that. You just sort of feel that, and if it's like, okay, that's going to be more, but I'm right. Well, that cone's done.
And what would is there a brake on the car or only chutes?
There's brakes in the back. At 400, I'd melt them in seconds.
Right.
They're carbon brakes, so really you have the chutes.
Right.
Chutes are what's going to either kill you or save you.
And in the chutes, how fast? Let's say you're going 400 miles an hour. You deploy both chutes. How fast would you wouldn't do it?
Not both. You do one and stabilize the car, then do the other.
Then do the other.
Because if you do two, they could run into each other. There's actually 4 chutes. There's pilot chutes, and then there's the main chutes.
Sure.
Pilot chute comes out, and it pulls the main chute.
Right.
We have on our website, I think, or one of the YouTube things, we have a video where we were using a relatively short length cord, 60-foot cord, with a little bit bigger chute, because one of the things safety-wise, if you want to stop, a bigger chute, shorter cord means a short cord comes out right away. Big chute slows you down.
Right.
That's the good news. The bad news is if there's a slight crosswind, or if the turbulence behind the car is kind of funny, the chute goes in different places rather than behind the car. This one went up to the upper right-hand corner, picked up the car and twisted it.
Wow.
So on video, what you see is you see the car going like this, then you see it do this and this.
So it righted itself?
I'm in there, yeah. So wow. And so what I ended up doing was, the whole thing happens in 1/10 of a second, but when you replay it in your mind, you can replay it over it feels like slow motion, and it took 30 seconds.
Sure.
But as it hit, basically what went through my mind is, no, you're not going over.
Right.
No, not on my watch. Yeah. We're not going over. Okay, the back end's up, right up. Okay, wheels are off the ground. I've already hit the. I'm off the accelerator. Otherwise, the motor would scatter.
Sure.
And
because the RPMs would go.
Oh, it just zings it. I mean, because I'm floored, right?
Right.
So what I ended up doing was I did 2 corrections. You can see it on the video, and the wheel basically went 1, 2 like that, real quick.
Right.
So you got a 5,000-pound car pirouetting on the front wheel, and there's no power steering.
Sure.
So you couldn't do that now. But with adrenaline, you can. So the next morning, I get up and I go in the shower and I go to wash my face and my arms lock up. All the muscles here.
Right, from all the.
It's like being in a car accident.
Crazy
the next
monkey
day.
strength you get.
Yeah, but it was just 1, 2, settle down, and then pull the second chute. And so what we did for that is we went to longer length, smaller chute. So you compromise. Now we have a nice soft hit and it's stable. But if I need to pull it, like if I need to stop now, I'm not gonna get that.
It's a crazy strength you would get. Like if your son Alex got trapped under your GT40
and lifted it up,
you ran out there and you'd be like crazy monkey strength, not for Alex, but you didn't want the underside of the car dented by the kid.
Get that kid out of my car.
Adrenaline, get that fucking kid out front of my car.
Fluids, it's no good. I got it. I'm gonna put it over here.
So these are the 2 front wheels, and again, we have the sort of scatter shield, right? And the thing is built it's essentially looks like one big long roll cage.
It's like an inline skate with a cage
all
around
this
it.
stuff here.
Yeah, and is this for safety or stability or both?
Stability. It's the
So
car
there's no
has to
torque.
be rigid, and it's
Right.
there is flex. This is the suspension, because between here and the rear tires, the only thing flexing is the body itself.
Right.
There's no shocks. We don't run shocks. We don't run any of that suspension stuff. The other
that's
guys
for
do.
pussies. Yeah.
So here's a couple of things that are unique about our car. We don't have a vertical stabilizer. We
Right.
have a fin, and it doesn't look at this point like we need one. And we also have our air inlets down low, and everybody else has theirs up high. We've yet to find another Streamliner that gets their air down low from there.
Right.
And what you pick up there, you get good air, but you also get a ton of salt.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So the guys that run there, usually they'll have like a scoop, and it'll come, something like, it'll come like up
top.
here and go like
Yeah.
this, and it'll just be like
sort of
that.
F1 snorkel
Exactly.
70 style.
Yep, and they
I
don't
think
run
John
air
Player
filters.
special.
Yeah,
Right.
They don't run air filters. That's clean air up here.
Sure.
But it's also less aerodynamic.
Right.
And so we run our turbos are right here. There's the exhaust, there's the turbo, and there's the air inlet, and we mount our filters right on the turbos. And this is really, why did we build this car? Well,
Right.
for fun, but that's not what we want to tell the IRS. What we want to tell the IRS is, this is R&D right here. This is to prove our product. This is how we test it, because there's no flow bench in the world that's as good as this. There's no dyno.
We got one inside. I made it out of cardboard box.
Yeah, I know, but you know what, Sandy? I mean, it's nice.
I'll throw a couple of Morton salt things at it while we're going.
Maybe a bigger vacuum cleaner. I don't know.
Hey, we got 6 or 8 more of those in the shelf.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
For cardboard and tape, he did really good.
Ganz, he's the Jewish MacGyver. It's been said many, many times. I bet it
I'm going to take
bears
that as a
repeating.
huge compliment.
That's a huge compliment.
Jewguyver.
Jewguyver.
Yeah, all he needs some duct tape and an old UPS box. And for those of you who are just hearing this, you're going to want to go to AdamCarolla.com and look at this, because this once in a while we get some bozo in here with a Mustang with a couple of ground effects on it. You don't need to look at that, but this you need to look at.
I think this is probably the most unique car we've ever had in here today.
Absolutely.
What's that? This thing?
Yeah.
Yes. That and an El Camino some joker brought by about a year ago.
Right, that's the fuel tank, and then
we're in between the wheels here in the rear, and again, this
let go.
pull it that way. Come on, Ganz.
I
Don't
got
you
it.
know sheet metal? Love me a plenum.
Isn't that a cool plenum?
That is really, really hot.
And it's corroding in front of our eyes. Everything
Because
is
of the
corroding.
salt,
There's
right?
salt.
Is there any way to stop it? Hit it with the olive oil or WD-40?
I mean, you do everything you can, but you can't get rid of it.
The salt is just so
You just try to
corrosive.
clean it as best you can.
I love me a plenum. I love
But
welded
you can see
aluminum.
how this is packed so far, right?
Yes, it is.
So we couldn't save any space here so far.
There's not an ounce of fudge that could be packed into this Streamliner. Sandy, is there any better look than a nice weld job on aluminum?
Anybody that can weld thin sheet metal like this, it's again, the black art of aluminum welding.
So
this is the intercooler. So
this
here's a
intercooler's
cool
right.
number for you. So coming out of the turbos are, well, there it is. There's a turbo right there. See?
Right
buried.
there.
And you see how packed everything is?
Right.
There's blow-off valves there and everything.
Sure.
The air boxes are here. We're not going to be able to get to it. We'll have to strip everything off. But the air coming out of the turbos goes up here and goes into this intercooler, and then comes out at 270 degrees. It comes out of here at, you want to take a guess?
I'm going to say 111.
111.
Are you just marking that, or is that correct? It comes in at 270.
Comes in here at 270 from both turbos.
Yeah.
And goes into the intake plenum at.
Is the intercooler? It has. Do we have a pump and fluid running through it, or is it just air?
Okay, it's got fluid. So we put 160 pounds of ice in here. There's a mesh screen about 3 inches off the bottom where that's filled with water, and then we pack it with ice. We use a real high-tech method. We take a cone that we find, an orange cone, and we flip it upside down, and we fill that with ice, and then we take a broom handle and
mash
all the ice in there and make sure it goes into all the corners until it's full of ice. Then we add water on top of that, so it's really cold.
95 degrees is the temperature it goes into that plenum.
Okay, so we got to go off the air. I can't correct them. So,
You can correct me, Howard.
Correct him. Pretend
I
he
can
said
correct you. So
95.
you were close at 111. It's actually 39. 39 degrees.
39 degrees from
Yeah.
270, but again, Sandy, you didn't have the benefit of seeing a huge ice
160
chest.
pounds of ice. And then this is full of water as well, and that's what we use to cool the engine.
Now, is the ice melts, evaporates,
Gone.
anything, and the front end starts, you lose
the
weight,
weight's the
or is
same.
it?
It's the same weight.
It doesn't move. It doesn't. I know, but I thought, okay, I'm not a dummy, but I thought maybe it moved through these pipes and got sucked up and evaporated or disintegrated somehow.
Maybe, well, so this isn't technically a correction. So the water actually is returned this way.
Oh, there's a return.
Returned.
Oh, okay.
And it pulls water from the bottom.
Uh-huh.
It's recirculated.
Melted ice. All right, and that's where the pump comes in. These are the fire bottles.
So in case
right?
there's a fire, one hits for the engine compartment, one
Sure.
hits the driver.
Sure.
And then this is, usually there's a bottle in here. This is our bottle right here for the air shifter.
Oh, okay,
So
for
we
the
run
transmission.
carbon dioxide for the air. We run whatever this stuff is for the fire, which thank goodness I've never had to use.
In
This
an
thing is
intercooler.
so dense, you can't pick it up. It's just the most dense thing. It's just incredible how that's built. And then this is just a plate that holds it, and then there's, oil pump there, and then there's the dry sump tank there.
MSD, ignition,
Distributor. Yep.
Let's not forget again, Cadillac here.
Cadillac, stock block, stock head, stock crank, Gasoline.
dry sump oil system.
dry sump.
Don't ever. Oh, wait a minute. I was
You
right.
got one
I was
right.
This is an
Okay.
agreement.
All right. I was right on that one.
You're
Do I get a
right.
Point for
Yeah.
that?
All right. How many quarts are we holding?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna guess.
what-
You know what? I'm going to take a wild guess. 18. I have no idea.
What are
I'm
we
gonna throw
running?
out
Are we
15, so,
are we
yeah.
running synthetic?
We're running Brad Penn.
Oh, he's hot. Oh, wait a minute. I
Let's
think
shoot
of someone
the
else.
Sean
Brad
Penn.
Pitt.
Oh, Sean
That's
Penn.
Brad Pitt. That's
Bra-
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Well, then
This is
now
Brad
I'm,
Penn.
now I'm confused.
Well,
That sounds like the world's hottest actor.
no, that's Sean Pitt.
He's a badass to the paparazzis, I'll tell you that.
Takes no
He only
flack.
puts a cigarette down for one thing, and that's to punch out a cameraman. Who makes this synthetic oil? If in fact it is synthetic.
It's I don't know. I don't
Where
know.
do you get
It's
it?
green, Pennsylvania, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
Brad Penn.
I'm intrigued.
It's a race.
no idea.
He's a guy that decided to make racing oil because all the new motor oils have low.
You know Brad Penn.
I know
used
of
to
him.
be the old Kendall. Remember the old
Yeah,
Kendall?
the
This is Brad Penn.
Kendall was
because
a
he
motor
puts
oil
the
that was
magnesium or something in it. or
phosphorus
whatever.
and zinc,
Zinc,
whatever
zinc.
the
Right.
things
Good
in the
thing.
right ratios that makes
Right.
it work.
All right. Absolutely.
So it's a
amazing.
regular car. I mean, it's got an engine. It's got a,
And the
transmission.
rear end is, what is the ratio on the rear end?
The final that we're using right now, I think, is like a 1.5 to 1, but we can drop it 2 more times. We can go 1.3 or 1.2, and then we can go up to 1.7 and 1.9. I think
And
we're around 1.5.
so we think we can squeeze another how many more miles an hour out of this baby to take home the record and to say F you to all those guys who are running multiple engines and turbines.
And all-wheel drive.
And
This is
all-wheel
two-wheel
drive.
That's all. This
All-wheel drive seems peculiar. It seems weird to me, and for this application. I mean, the hill climb, maybe,
But think
or
of
rally,
that.
maybe, but
You have what, 4-inch tires, 2 4-inch tires
That
doing
big.
what, 2,000
yeah,
horsepower?
Yeah, I know
on the
they're
salt.
spinning. Yeah, I guess so. But it seems like all the extra weight involved with the all-wheel drive. Anyway,
and it's complicated.
it's
And you get 4
complicated, and
engines.
you got to steer it. And
One of the
yeah.
things is you're fighting a battle of diminishing returns, because the faster you go, the resistance of air is exponential. So
Sure.
every 10 miles an hour requires another couple hundred horsepower. I mean, it just
Right.
takes that much more. So our car is a little different in that we didn't build our car for supersonic speeds. Like if you look at some of the other Streamliners, they have a real beak needle nose. They look really sexy. They look like an F4 Phantom jet with the wing and a whole thing.
That's in case you break the sound barrier.
In case, but on wheel driven,
Right,
that's not
no way.
happening anytime soon. So
Sure.
this thing looks more like a 737. Anyway, we did that, and we've got our air inlets down here instead of a big scoop there, and so we think we've got a very efficient package. Our aerodynamicist is Ken Rappaport, and he's done a pretty good job. His job was to make this thing as slick as possible, and so I remember he was standing there in Steve's shop, and he said, make it make it look like that. And then Steve said, you mean like this? And I'm looking at him going, aren't you going to draw it or something? And he goes, no, I think Steve understands.
My wife over breakfast this
did.
morning said no better aerodynamicist than Rappaport. And apropos to nothing, we were watching the Backyardigans with the kids.
You know what I've got? Cardboard airflow chamber next with shop vacs.
There you go.
Well, one last question for you, if I might, Amir, because you've been so generous with your time and your Streamliner. Speaking of that, and you know, cheating the air that way. What about the fact that this thing has a sort of flattish finish to it? You talk to guys who are into aviation, and they say when the plane has been cleaned, they can get an extra certain amount of, you know, pretty substantial fuel savings, meaning it'll cut through the wind just a little bit better, I guess. Is there some sort of finish that could be put on this car that would pick you up an extra couple of miles an hour at 400 plus?
I think this is it.
This is it?
Yeah, because you've got what's called laminar flow. And laminar flow is the first molecules of air that hit the body. And so what you want to do is you want something that's a little rougher that would capture them. Okay, so then what you've got is, in essence, a layer of air, boundary layer that's on top of the body, and the rest of the air flows
on that air.
So think of an air hockey table with the air on or off. Off, the puck moves across and it's okay. On, and it just glides.
Yeah, sure.
And so even though this seems counterintuitive, because you'd think the shinier we'd make it, and the more polished we'd make it, the slipperier it would be.
Right. No, not so.
No, because what we're doing here, this is like super miniature dimples on a golf ball. A golf ball goes faster than a regular
than a non-dimpled.
Non-dimple ball.
I think they found that out with like shark skin or something too, that the fact that it was a little bit rough actually made the shark.
It just sounds to me like, you know, because basically I painted most of my car with a spray can, and it sounds to me like either I've got the same aerodynamic advantage as you have.
That's why your car's so fast. See, this is it now.
I couldn't figure it out. I thought it was, you know, the 600 horsepower motor.
We're supposed to be going on the Barry Maguire show, you know, next week.
He wants you to
watch your language.
I don't know what I'm going to tell him.
Just watch your language.
I know.
Tell him you use his products on your tires. He won't be able to take the scatter shields off. He'll never question you on it.
There you go. I'll tell him we use it on the furniture at home, like what it used to be for. And then,
now, Barry Maguire's the guy who sung Eve of Destruction, or is that another dude? I got to look into that.
I have no idea.
Anyway, Amir Rosenbaum and his beautiful, beautiful Take That Terrorist piece of technology. Amir, why don't you toss out a website where people can see you, see your products, see your vehicles, see all your fine products.
Okay. SpectrePerformance.com, SpectrePerformance.com. You go right on the website, on the homepage, there's a picture of this or something that says Speed Week or Speedliner or something. Click on that and you'll see all the videos. And I think there's also a YouTube channel. If you Google hard enough, you can find it, and there's a bunch of videos.
And for those that can't spell, we'll make sure we get a link off of our site.
And buy a couple products, because we got to keep this dream alive.
I mean, that's really what it is.
And this guy Amir is hardcore. He's not sitting home. He didn't just buy the company and name himself Mr. Gasket.
He's not freaking a waxer. Let's say that.
If he's not in the office, he's on the salt flats.
Hammer down.
Yep. Amir, thanks so much for coming back again and taking the time for us. Apologize about Sandy.